It's less than a year after the approval of the Paris Agreement by 195 nations at the COP21 and 30 days since the October the 5th minimum ratification threshold by at least 55 nations. Today, November the 4th, sees the formal application of the world's first agreement on tackling climate change. I'm looking around the room. I see that the reaction is positive. I don't hear any objections. So the Paris Agreement for the climate is accepted. But none of the conferences and meetings have gone down well with activists who, even before the event, had criticised the methods being used to fight global warming and who demonstrated next to the Eiffel Tower, angry that the deal, in their opinion, favours rich nations and oil companies.
There was a lot of talk, and it was great that the smaller countries were talking about 1.5 degrees, but there was no agreement reached, and the richer countries are doing nothing about it. They're too much in the pockets of the oil and gas corporations.
The ratification by the 55 nations, responsible for at least 55% of greenhouse gas emissions, cleared the way for validation by the European Parliament on October the 4th. Our vote opens the way to ensuring that the whole agreement can achieve the necessary threshold figures so as to come into worldwide implementation. Today, 97 of the 195 signatory nations have ratified the Paris Agreement. But it only really carries weight if the planet's two main polluters, the United States and China, take the action they've promised to.
The Secretary General was present at a very symbolic meeting in China where he was presented with the instruments of ratification of both the U.S. and China together. We hope that whoever occupies the White House in 2017 will continue that leadership role for the United States.
The application of the Paris criteria allows talks on the climate and should encourage nations to strive towards limiting global warming to less than 2 degrees centigrade. To achieve this, the expert opinion is that greenhouse gas emissions must be cut by between 40 to 70% by 2050.